Hello, this is BioEnchanted, and today I just wanted to do something a bit different. I just want to talk to you about something that's been on my mind lately, which, while I was kind of working on practicing my topological modelling skills, because I'm not very good at, like modelling locations and things like that at the moment, so I figured I'd get some practice in there while talking about this thing. I just want to talk about like how often, especially when you get older, it can be kind of a little bit intimidating to try and get into new hobbies and things like that. But something to bear in mind is when you're younger, because sometimes it's a matter of, the thing I've really learned is it's not really a matter of finding what you're good at. It's because if you already know what you're good at, it's fairly easy. What it actually really is it's a matter of finding what you enjoy being bad at. So, for example, I find physical drawing on pencil and paper quite frustrating because I'm just not very good at translating what I want things in my mind, what's in my mind to the page. But for 3D modelling, I just find it a lot easier. Because you don't really have to worry as much about perspective and things like that. Like, the tools generally do that for you. Like, what I'm doing here is I'm using this little example map as a kind of very, very simple exercise in figuring out like natural topology, and I'm following the contours of the map, and then I'm going to use each of the little kind of lines here as a 10-meter guide for the actual depth of it. So, for example, I've got this layer now done, so let's just highlight these edge loops. And bring this down. There we go, that will be the 200 meters. So now I'll bring it a bit further. So this is just what I want to talk about really, and why, because often there's certain like things that you kind of take for granted. Like, for example, I like the idea of making music, but I find it very frustrating trying to actually like compose music myself, because I'm just not, I don't really have the ear for it or the music theory knowledge or anything like that, and so because of that I just find it kind of frustrating. But playing music that's already been written, while I'm not very good at it, I do find it quite therapeutic, so it's something that's fun for me to be bad at. And similarly, when it comes to 3D modelling, I'm enjoying being bad at it. I'm having fun learning new things and trying different methods of learning new skills, like this new idea of how to using a topology map to try and model more naturalistic landscapes and get an idea of like how they generally flow. Also, just because it would be nice to have a fairly simple, because it's also a matter of like learn small simple things as well. Like something I've learned about when I was trying to learn, getting into like learning game development and things like that, which is way beyond me. But I've learned about the 3D modelling aspect is what I find really fun. But what I've really learned about it is not to worry about like doing one big thing. It's more doing a lot of little things and then extrapolating that. So, for example, if I get good at modelling like a landscape modelling this hill, for example, if I can use this to get some basics down, then when it comes to modelling other kinds of landscapes myself, I'll have a kind of idea of where to start and how to structure them better and things like that, using maybe this as an idea. So, like, maybe make sure that I have each, like, edge loop of the land be a particular height, that sort of thing. So I'll structure it like a topology map. I'm just using these little example ones to get an idea of how to structure it. But what I'm trying to say is, even if you're getting no matter how, even if you're young and haven't got access to the right materials for certain hobbies, it doesn't mean that's not necessarily the hobby for you. It might just be not yet, because, for example, I never really had the patience for 3D modelling when I was younger, because I never had a good enough computer that could like run the right models. But now that I'm much older and I have my own money and things like that, and I have a day job, so I have stable income, it's easier for me to just kind of dip into certain hobbies and just see how it goes, because I can now afford to in ways I wasn't really able to before. And it's that sort of thing, whereas I don't worry too much about, because there's this whole saying as well, where don't worry about where everyone else is, worry about where you are. Like, always try and be better than you were at whatever you're doing. Like, I won't ever be able to catch up with someone who's been 3D modelling since they were 14 or whatever. But as long as I'm learning constantly and trying new things and just figuring out better techniques for it, I'll make my own projects look better and better as things go on. It's just also a matter of having the right kind of motivation and the right sort of like learning to manage your time as well. Like, for example, when I was younger, I had a lot of trouble doing certain things when it comes to like homework and things like that, but now I can kind of get myself to do things like that on my own because I've just learned how to manage that sort of aspect of my personality better. So it's just generally a thing where, like, if you want to go into a hobby and maybe you feel like you're getting a bit old and it's not really much point to it because you won't be able to do it professionally or whatever, don't really worry too much about that. Just try whatever you're trying, and just if you enjoy it, at least you're having fun with whatever you're trying to do. So, for example, I've modelled a pretty decent like facsimile of this hill so far, so I'm quite happy with how that looks. Not quite done yet, though. I just need to round out a few things here to kind of finish it off. This is a very simple contour model as well, so of course it's only going to be a very simple shape. Because there's only really a top contour to go from here as well. But it's just kind of like, sort of talk about that because it's something that means a lot to me when it comes to like learning how to do stuff, because often people can get kind of disheartened if they're not immediately good at something, and that's kind of unfair on you. Because I'm not very good at this, but I've only just started, so I'm just giving myself the time to figure out how best to get this sort of thing done. For example, I've forgotten to pull this hill down, but there we go. That's a good sort of a idea of what I was trying to do. That's a good sort of topology study for the diagram I was working with. I just wanted to chat about that briefly. I was bringing it up a little bit just to kind of make it seem a little bit more complete. And there we go, I made a little hill based off a topological study. I might try and do some more complex ones. This is just a very simple one for the purpose of this video. So, because I'm in my mid-30s, I'm just kind of messing around with Blender right now, but I'm having fun doing it and figuring out different like techniques to make everything just generally look better. The material there. That's what I meant here. I just wanted to quickly smooth out the hill. It's a little bit too smooth. Didn't mean smooth, I meant subdivide. Generates. That's better. And there's my little topology study. For now, just wanted to talk about that and just show that I'm still learning myself at certain new skills, but I'm having a lot of fun doing so. I'm going to try and complete the characters I've been working on later on when I have time. It's just wanted to just chat about this really briefly. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.